Hey everybody, it's Mama. Welcome back to Mama Zoedie Tarot. So, I'm trying something new. All right, I do got my hat on because I do gotta have my crown covered, but I figured why not show my face. It's been a while since I've done any videos, and I know y'all probably missed me, and I missed you guys. I just needed some time to myself. Always make sure you do that. I do want to say that I'm having a giveaway for reaching 500 subscribers on the channel because I'm so grateful for you guys. You guys are awesome. Y'all make my day. I swear, like, this is the most important thing to me right now, my baby. But my YouTube channel is like my little baby, and you guys are my babies. But anyways, like I said, for 500 subscribers, we're going to do a giveaway. I've already picked one winner, but I did say there would be two. So go ahead in the comments of this video. I got the idea from the person who I gave the other reading to. She basically was like, you guys should comment, you know, what this channel means to you, why you watch my channel, you know, whatever impact it has on you and what it means to you and things like that. And I'll just pick one person from the comments of this video to give a reading to. If you want to talk about, you know, why you also as well, why you feel like you need the reading, feel free to throw that in there as well. And like I said, I will pick one person from the comments of this video. But we are going to do, let me grab my phone because I wrote down all the questions. We're going to do Miley Cyrus. As you will know from the title, this is going to be Miley Cyrus's rise to fame and everything like that. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump right in. And y'all let me know if y'all like this style of video better, where you can see me and I'll show you the card, and then, you know, or if you would rather see the cards. Just definitely let me know which you would prefer. But let's jump right in, starting with her outer personality, her public persona, you know. Miley Cyrus that we see to the world. So we have Parallel Parker Pro, Retail Therapy Guru, Procrastination Master, Social Battery Drained in Reverse, and Hungry Beast. So the Miley Cyrus that we see, you know, her public persona is somebody that seems to be like, I'm thinking of, I don't know why I just heard Sunglasses in Advil. Last night was Mad Trill. Like, people think of her as like a somebody who parties and focuses on hanging out, doing drugs, partying probably, where she's like out all night, and where she ends up literally falling asleep in her car or something. Like, people think that she's someone who makes bad decisions, and that she's not very smart when it comes to her decision making, which we know from some of the things that she's done in her past, that she, you know, nobody's perfect. She has flaws. We also have Retail Therapy Guru, that she's a shopper. She's materialistic. She likes nice, expensive things. With this Procrastination Master, it makes me think like, you know, to us or to her public persona is one that I guess is past her prime or past her peak. And a lot of people kind of like sleep on her now and are not as huge and into what she's creating as much as when she was young and she was, you know, Hannah Montana, and she had the TV show and the songs and everybody was really super into her. It feels like now, as far as her public persona, it's like she kind of is, I don't want to say washed up, but people just put her in the past a little bit with this Procrastination Master. Like her time for stardom and being huge and in the spotlight seems to be up. Which with this Social Battery Drained in Reverse, it makes sense. Like, people look at her in a sexual way and for her sexual nature, but with this Hungry Beast, you know, it says that, you know, a lot of guys like her. They think she's beautiful, she's sexually motivated, but ultimately this is telling me that she's been drained, she's been used, she's been taken advantage of so much for that part of her public persona, to the point where it's like she doesn't even like that part, you know. She doesn't like the fact that people view her for her, how pretty she is and how sexy she is. It's like she wants people to respect her, you know, for what she brings to the table, for her artistry, her music, her talent as an actress, all of those things, and as a musician, and not for her looks and her beauty. And, you know, it just gives like she's somebody who has a lot of men that come around and try to siphon off of her beauty and her sacral energy and things like that. So, but yeah, as far as her public persona, she's a looker. And I think in her past, she's probably struggled with, you know, being taken advantage of for her sexual nature. And possibly she could be somebody who is, you know, in touch with her sexual side. And there's nothing wrong with that. Who likes to get down and, you know, who is okay with having a healthy sex life. But that doesn't mean that you could just, you know, take advantage of her or use her just because she's somebody who is a more sexual being, or, you know, she leans into that Venus energy about her. That doesn't mean that you could just use her. All right, let's see about her true inner nature. Next. We have viral video star, FOMO sufferer. Oh, you guys probably can't even see the cards. And I did say I was going to start showing them to you. I'm sorry. Viral video star, FOMO sufferer, overwhelmed mom, passive aggressive notes writer, and deadline surfer. So we know that, you know, in comparison to her public persona, ultimately on the inside, she's somebody who I feel like is overwhelmed and feels like she's been through a lot. And it makes sense, you know, with the social battery drained, where it's like she's very overwhelmed, you know, on the inside. She feels like this is a lot. This might be possibly too much for her. I think she has a lot of anger built up with this passive aggressive notes writer, where she doesn't really speak how she feels. She lets anger build up a lot inside before she finally explodes and says like, hey, this is really bothering me. This is upsetting me. She has a lot of unhealed wounds surrounding her not standing up for herself and speaking up for the ways that she feels she's been taken advantage of. We also have deadline surfer, so she has a lot of emotion. She's somebody who deals with, you know, maybe not being so in control emotionally on the inside, because she's got a lot of things that she's been through in a lot of ways, you know, that people have taken advantage of her. And then she has this career. So there's just a lot that she has to take on. And I think internally it bubbles up until she explodes, because she just sits there and she carries all of those emotions and those feelings and those burdens. And she's just focusing on her work and what it is that she needs to do, to the point where eventually, whoa, the floodgates open, she explodes, and she unleashes on whoever is near her or around, because she doesn't really have the emotional intelligence to, you know, internally to handle her emotions and then deal with the people that are bothering her or upsetting her or making her feel these type of ways, so that way she doesn't explode, because she's just literally keeping everything, you know, building it up like Pandora's box, and she's just like filling it all up. Like, okay, every time somebody does something to me, I'm just going to put it away, bury it. And then eventually it's too much stuff is filling and it overflows and she explodes on everybody around her. So that's unfortunate. We also have viral video stars. So ultimately she wanted to be, you know, an actress, a celebrity. She wanted to be on the big screen. And that's a really big thing to her. That's a really big, important part of her life. And I think that she fears with this FOMO sufferer, not being in the spotlight, not having the significance, not having the celebrity status, and not having people see her in the same spotlight. And so that's why she continues to overwhelm herself and work hard. Even like that fear of missing out is what makes her feel like she has to keep working hard and she has to keep overachieving. Like there's this competition. It's like I don't know if you guys are into like streaming or anything like that, but there's this streamer named Zoedie that I follow, and she was basically talking about how like when you live in a streamer house, you see all these different people streaming, and even when you're trying to relax, there's this thing of like, oh my god, but if I'm not streaming, this person's streaming, then I might lose my viewers. So there's always this fear of, if she doesn't accomplish and work and do, then other people are going to surpass her, other people are going to be better than her, she's going to lose her status, she's not going to be okay. And I think that that's what motivates her more than her actually wanting it. And more so what's motivating her is what she might miss out on if she's not focusing on it and doing it. So that's rough, because I think, you know, deep down inside with this FOMO sufferer, it's like, I still feel that she's someone who would ultimately prefer to be inside and be somebody who watches everybody else. And that's where the issue comes in, because it's like, how do I want to be a star? But I also will much prefer not be in the cameras and not be in the spotlight and not be in front of the TV screens and having everybody see what I got going on and all up in my business. So it's hard to walk that middle path of knowing that you want to live your own life and do what makes you happy, but also at the same time, you're trying to make sure that you keep your career and you have what it is that you want, and you don't lose it. So that's very interesting. I'm gonna put these cards here like this. Oh god, that car alarm is pretty annoying. But let's go ahead and continue to thank you, because I'm like, that was annoying me. Her rise to fame, her motivation behind why she wanted her career in the first place. Why did Miley Cyrus want her career in the first place? We have distant future, gift, evil eye, change, travel, legal, imprisonment, and ancestors in reverse. So basically, the motivation behind her having a career and wanting her career is the fact that, you know, she had these beautiful gifts, and ultimately her family was letting her know that, with this ancestors coming out in reverse, her family was the one who was pressuring her and letting her know that her gifts were going to get her to being so great. And because she wanted to be in the spotlight anyway, and I was always a dream of hers, being that her father was already who he was, and everything was the way it was. It was like, why would I change up anything or try to do anything different? So it was one of those things where this is already what the family did. This is already what was, known and what felt right and what was fair. And so she just felt like she had to continue doing that, to continue to make her family happy and to continue to have peace. Like, I think she just didn't want to change up anything or do anything different or cause any issues or cause any, with this evil eye, cause any arguments or anything with the family. She just wanted to keep everything copacetic. And so she just did what she felt was best and what she was told. And that was to focus on her future and how her gifts were going to create her abundance and her money and create everything for her. And so I think that with this change in travel, eventually, this is saying that, as she got older, she started to harbor a lot of, I think, resentment and animosity towards her career, because ultimately a lot of the things that she wanted, remember, FOMO sufferer did come out. A lot of the things that she wanted, she didn't accomplish. Possibly having to do things that she didn't really want to do. Maybe she just ultimately realized that she wanted to be a child and have a childhood instead of, with this change, growing up so young, so at such a young early age, and being exposed to so many different things and having to travel and be around all these adults and people sexualizing you. I feel like she eventually started harboring a lot of evil eye and resentment towards the choice that she had made, right? Like, she had made this choice, but ultimately I feel like she had a lot of resentment towards it because of the ways that she had to change herself, her having to grow up too early, not being able to enjoy her childhood, feeling honestly stuck and trapped by the family that she was born into, right? It's like, with this imprisonment and ancestors coming out as the last two cards, it's like, this is my family, this is what I'm attached to, and so I'm kind of stuck doing what it is that they want to do and what makes them happy, even if it ultimately doesn't really please me, even though I thought it would. Right? Like, I think she was on board in the beginning, and she was like, okay. Like, I think she thought it was going to make her happy as well. But ultimately, she realized that there was a lot that she was missing out on in having her career. And there was a lot that she actually was suffering from in order, to have a career, as far as giving up her childhood, giving up certain things about her personality, just having to change and wear a certain image in order to have her career started to become exhausting. And it felt like she was not only damaging herself, but she was starting to have animosity towards her family. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. I said, how did she get huge, and become huge? That's Miley Cyrus. So we have emotional pain. Make sure I show y'all. Self-love. Bliss. Mentally and emotionally unstable. Opposition. Thief. Unbothered. And karmic masculine coming out in reverse. So basically, in order for her to, become huge, it was one of those things where she was focusing on working only. I think that there was a thing of her wanting to maybe, there was a lot from her past that she regrets. I feel like with this karmic masculine here coming out in reverse, there was a lot of, I don't know if it was potential lovers or guys that she liked, that she wanted to explore a relationship with, that she had to just stay unbothered and really focusing on, her own self-love and doing what it is that made her family happy and her father happy, and just doing what it is that she was told. And it feels like that's how she really got big. Just completely overworking and focusing on doing what it did, focusing on her career. That's it. Focusing on the music she was making, her career, with this opposition, even if to the point where it was damaging her health, not really getting food, proper nutrition, not sleeping well. She really, even if it was causing her a lot of pain and she was having sleepless nights and she was crying, she just pretty much pretended like a lot of that was, not bothering her. She pretty much was unbothered to a lot of those early struggles and unhappiness and pain that she was feeling. I think emotionally she was very unstable, and she didn't have, her emotions in control. And there was a lot of pain, it seems like, in order for her to get this career and for her to become huge. There was a lot of pain and sadness that was associated with this. And although with this self-love and bliss, she got the career and she got to be in the spotlight and everybody loved her, and she was a Hannah Montana, and she was, a celebrity favorite, and everybody, all the little girls loved her and wanted to be like her. Ultimately, she felt like she was robbed, right, with this thief of the true life that she wanted and the things that she wanted to do, having to be unbothered towards love, couldn't pursue friendships, couldn't pursue anything from her, about being a child. When I think of this karmic masculine, I'm thinking of like not the past as in her past life, but the past as in her childhood. She pretty much had to put all of that to rest and like I said, mature and grow and be this child actress who was just so focused on doing what it is that made her parents and her family happy and brought them money, and not actually doing anything that, normal children should have been able to do. So that was a huge, huge issue for her. But that is how she became huge, by just overworking. All right, let's see. Some of her early career struggles and then early personal struggles. So early career struggles, we have priest coming out in reverse. Interesting. Child divine. Virgin. Interesting. Lover. I don't like that. Mystic and storyteller. All right, so so some of her early career struggles was, pretty much that her dad was pretty much the say-so, the be-all, end-all, with this priest coming out in reverse, not wanting to make him sad, not wanting to make him unhappy, not wanting to, pretty much disappoint him. She was carrying so much weight on her shoulders because she ultimately just wanted to make him happy and wanted to make him, be proud of her. And so I think that she put him on a pedestal and she put him at such a high value in her life that she was so focused on doing whatever it is that made him happy. I think with this child divine, it was like she was trying to be the golden child. She was trying to be the good girl and not cause any trouble or stir up any problems or say anything that people wouldn't like. It was really just about her being on her best behavior, being a good worker bee, and just doing everything that she was told and keeping her dad happy and doing what she thought would ultimately make him happy. Whether or not that truly would have made him happy, but that's what she felt. And so she was following his law and order, basically, with this priest coming out in reverse. Virgin and lover coming out together kind of irritates me because it tells me that, it was a struggle for her to protect herself, actually, and make sure that no one was taking advantage of her. Even though her dad was pushing her to have this career, he was still Billy Ray Cyrus. So he was still out living his best life, having his career and doing things. And I think that affected him and her relationship because maybe he wasn't paying attention to the ways that there was people in her energy that she didn't like, that she felt might have been trying to taint her purity. Keeping her purity and not allowing herself to be taken advantage of was a huge, huge early career struggle for her. And I think that with this lover, her being so devoted to doing what her dad wanted to do, it was like she was so devoted to making him happy. He didn't even realize that he was putting her in danger, right? With this virgin. He didn't realize that he was putting her in harm's way and putting her at risk of her purity and her innocence being used and being taken advantage of. And it was going to be hard for her to maintain that innocence. We also have mystics. So definitely a lot of dark people spiritually. And so she had to make sure, to keep her relationship with God and keep her relationship with the divine. And that was a hard thing for her. That was very much an early career struggle because she was around so many dark people spiritually who was trying to damage her relationship with God and with the divine, possibly telling her lies or feeding her stories and making her feel like doing something dark or doing something bad would be good, or her having SCX at a young age or doing something like that would be good for her career and to boost her life and things like that. So it was really one of those things where she had to, with this storyteller, make sure that she protected herself because I think she was afraid that people would have thought that she was lying or people would not have believed her or felt like, you're just a kid and you're telling stories and that's not true. So I think she always worried about ever talking about anything that was going on in terms of her career for people not believing her or saying that she's telling a story or trying to damage her or damage her dad, or like she just wanted to keep everybody happy. So she was basically doing something that no child should do, which is taking on a lot of adult burdens and a lot of adult feelings and dealing with that shit, excuse my language, on her own instead of, being real and telling somebody the truth that this was too much for her, that she was unhappy and this is not what she wanted to do. And she felt like she was in harm's way and could easily be used and taken advantage of, whether for her career, whether sexually. Like there was just a lot. And I think she was afraid. And that was a big thing that her father was missing out on because he was not paying attention, and he was just so focused on her having a career and being distracted himself with this priest coming out in reverse. I think he just was like, I want to say he felt like he was that guy. It's like, nah, nobody would harm my daughter because I'm Billy Ray Cyrus type of thing. And it's like, why do you think that? Just be like, that's the energy that I'm picking up on, you guys. That's just what I see here. He thought that he was so much of a big guy that no one would ever try to mess with his daughter. But it's like, this industry, it's really dark and it's really sadistic and hedonistic. And to think that just because of your role and who you are, that means that other people wouldn't be able to take advantage of your daughter, that's really crazy to even think that, because that's not the case at all. And she was very much susceptible to being harmed. So that's unfortunate. What about her early personal struggles? We have gossip, shapeshifter, stop card, mediator, goddess, and beggar. Sorry, beggar, goddess, mediator, stop card, shapeshifter, and gossip. I'm picking up on these three kind of being together. Shapeshifter, gossip, and the stop card. So this is basically telling me that some of her early personal struggles was the fact that she had to put an end to things that made her happy, but also she had to wear an image. She had to fake. She had to pretend. Even just the duality of the show she was doing, Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, it's a real thing for her. Like, that was like basically like that was the real thing that she was going through in real life. Like, I think this is a show whole time this is reflecting her real life, because she's having to wear an image and pretend that she's something that she's not, because she's being told that this is the best way to keep herself in the forefront and to be so good, is to gatekeep who she really is. And it's like, do you know how sick and psychotic that is to have somebody playing a role like that? How mentally damaging that could be, where you're playing a role where you're pretending to be somebody else because you can't be your true self, and your family feels like you should gatekeep your real self, and then that's actually what you're doing in real life. That's a complete mind fuck, excuse my language. So I think that she was dealing with a lot internally. She was all in her head, and it's like she didn't know what to believe. She didn't know who to trust, and I think she just didn't have that internal peace, right? She couldn't trust herself. Remember, she came out as mentally and emotionally unstable. And it would make sense why you would be mentally and emotionally unstable when it comes to, like I said, it caused her a lot of this when it came to having her career. It caused her a lot of mental instability. And it would make sense if you're having to play a role and pretend, and then you're playing a role where you're pretending. It's just all too much for her. And I think that was a lot. And she was just unhappy. She couldn't trust herself. She was just going through a lot. Like, I feel like her self-confidence was lacking. Her happiness was lacking. Like, she wasn't feeling truly in her goddess energy. Like, she just felt like she was being exploited, pretty much. Put it like that. She was being exploited for whatever image that they wanted her to portray. And with this beggar and mediator, it was all about bringing money to her family, to her label, to the people that she was working with. It was never about fairness in terms of getting what she wanted. She never could negotiate things to go in her favor. And so, not being able to speak up for herself, not, like I said, I talked about it, her not really being able to speak up for herself and knowing how to say, hey, this is unfair, this is what I don't want, was causing her to be in this energy of lack, right? Where with this beggar energy, where she was always dependent on someone else to try to refortify that for her. Like, she was always, possibly even with this goddess, like, talking to different guys, dealing with different guys, always just trying to find somebody to give her what it is that she feels she's lacking within herself. It's like, oh my God, I don't know who I am. I'm unhappy. But maybe if another guy is always telling me he loves me and telling me I'm this and telling me I'm that, then I can feel good and I can feel better. So that's really sad and unfortunate, because I think that she was looking for love in all the wrong places at the time. Because of her early career struggles, it was causing her to just look for love in the wrong places. But let's go ahead and continue. No, it's down here next. I asked, what is she actually focusing on right now? We have the Three of Raphael, which is the Three of Cups. All right, we have the Two of Ariel, which is the Two of Pentacles, followed by the Four of Ariel, Four of Pentacles. And then we have the Five of Gabriel, which is the Five of Wands. Five of Ariel, Five of Pentacles in reverse. Knight of Michael, which is Knight of Swords. Ace of Michael, which is Ace of Swords. And Three of Michael, which is Three of Swords. Interesting. So heavy on the Swords and Pentacles energy. So it's a lot about her. I'm still kind of being worried about her financial situation and her money. And also trying to, I feel like, get this man to move forward with her. That's what it feels like. Because, you know, with this Three of Cups, it's like she wants to party. She wants to celebrate, hang out with friends. She's really at a place where she feels like she has a balance between her career and her love life. Things are really starting to look better in terms of that. It feels like with this 2 and 4 of Pentacles, she feels like she has somebody who she can have equal give and take with and things like that. But what I am seeing with this 5 of Wands being here and this 5 of Pentacles in reverse is one of those things where she's strong-arming. Like I said, it's like she's strong-arming this person, and maybe they're not as financially stable, and maybe they're not as great as she thinks they are, but she's putting them in that role, and she wants to feel like this is the person for her. So, she's putting all of her eggs in one basket is pretty much what I want to say. And she's even strong-arming and really, like, with this 5 of Wands, trying to make sure that there's no competition. I think she has insecurities and, you know, certain wounds where she feels like he might cheat or he might do something. So she's trying to do everything she can to keep it secure and keep him there and keep her with him and make sure that he don't leave. Even if that means spending money on him, just going, you know, doing extravagant things, going to whatever lengths, because it's like she wants to keep this person in her life. She has codependency wounds and issues. She never wants to see him leave leave her out in the cold with this 5 of Pentacles coming out in reverse. And it's one of those things where she's coming off very needy and she's looking to him for security. And I think she wants to get married even. Like, she's waiting on him to pop that question and tell her that, you know, he's ready for her to be his, you know, one and only, and that they're going to get married. Like, she wants to move towards the point of marriage with this person. But I think ultimately they're saying that with this Knight of Michael, Ace of Michael, and 3 of Michael, she still needs to focus on getting her emotions under control. Like, she still has a lot of emotional volatility, and she still has a lot of insecurities and, you know, deeper wounds. Like, and she really needs to still work on focusing on releasing the past and letting go of what's not serving her before they can move to the point of having a relationship. Because I think she lacks when it comes to being able to communicate. She lacks when it comes to being able to say what it is that she really needs. And she can come off as emotionally, you know, manipulative and emotionally unhinged. I'm just going to be real. And she might just be moving a little bit too quickly. And that's what she wants. She wants to move quickly and go towards marriage. And I get it that they've been together for a couple years now, but what it looks like is that she still needs to worry about herself and focus on her and not force this relationship to move at a faster pace than where it needs to go, especially because she still has some things from her past that she's stuck on that she needs to work on and release. She still thinks a lot about her past and spends a lot of time in her head. And so as far as what she's focusing on right now is really just trying to move on to having a marriage. Oh, I'm over here about to wipe my eyebrows off. Sorry, y'all. I'm saying sorry, y'all, like y'all care. But trying to move on to having a marriage and spending more time with him and really just enjoying the fruits of her labor and enjoying her life. But they're telling her that she needs to slow down. She needs to get control of her finances. She needs to take some time to herself. She really needs to isolate. She needs to learn to get her emotions in control, have more patience with herself, give herself grace so that she can be more patient with other people and give them grace. It's a lot of internal work that still needs to be done here right now. And she's just moving a little bit too quick. And Ancestors is saying that truthfully, she needs to stand in her own personal power and learn how to be as honest and truthful with herself about what's not working. There's a lot of ways that she's hindering her own progress, and they want her to just acknowledge that so that she can start making better choices and better decisions. All right. I next asked, how does she feel about her career currently? How is she currently feeling about her career? We have the 3 of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, the Justice card, the 8 of Wands, the 2 of Cups, the 7 of Pentacles, the World card, and the Ace of Pentacles. So it's one of those things where she feels like, in terms of her career, it's not bad. She feel like it's one of those things where, I don't know, she feel like Monique or something, where she got to fight for her respect, and she's got to fight for her everything that she deserves, you know, that she feel like she deserved. And I think it's one of those things where she feels like her relationships have held her back from really focusing and doing what she was supposed to do, like with this 2 of Cups and the 7 of Pentacles, putting in all of this energy and investing in relationships and love and Chris Hemsworth and all these other people. That has pretty much distracted her from really focusing on doing what she needs to do when it comes to her career. But now that she knows better, quote unquote, which I don't feel like she does, but she's saying she knows better. And now she's going to be smarter. She's going to do, focusing on how she can be smart when it comes to her resources and where she spends her time, her energy, and her money. Like, it feels like she really wants to switch it up and do something different to really put herself back in the spotlight. I don't know if that means, another acting role, or moving towards movies and doing something more serious, but it feels like she just wants to elevate. She wants to grow and show people that she's not to be, left in the past, like that procrastination MasterCard was suggesting. She wants people to know that she's still here, she's still kicking, she's still fighting, she still got it, like she still has all the talents and ability, and that she still can put in the work and the effort. And with this 8 of Wands, I feel like it's one of those things where she might be looking for immediate results, and might be moving a little impulsively when it comes to this. So she's gonna have to bear in mind that if she is thinking impulsively and she is just not doing it for the right motivations, then it might not turn out exactly how she wants. So she's got to slow down, all right, and really figure out what it is that she wants. Like, she has to make a plan. It's one of those things where she, with this 3 of Pentacles, is looking for other people to work with, things to create. Like, she wants to create projects and build and work with other people and grow, but they're telling her that she has to come up with a plan and she has to slow down for things to work out in her favor and for things to be balanced, with this Justice card being out here. And she has to get her emotions in check. She has to really, really slow it down and stop being so impulsive and realize that, abundance and money and all of these things are an energy. And as long as she feels like things can't work out for her, and as long as she feels like, the world is against her or people is against her, then that's going to be the energy. She has to know that she's deserving of things working out in her favor, right? She has to understand on the spiritual level that she's taken care of and that God and her ancestors and everybody has her back. And once she do, then I do see new opportunities being open to her. And now I'm hearing that song with that snippet that Megan Thee Stallion just put out. Kissing, but I don't know if she'll end up on that song, like on the remix or something of that sort. That would be dope. But she's definitely looking to collaborate with people when it comes to making music, when it comes to putting herself back in the spotlight. She's like, hey, who can I work with? Who can I link up with and team up with so that I can get myself back out there? But I do see her definitely working on more music, definitely working on acting, definitely trying to create new opportunities and new abundance for herself. So yeah, she's not giving up. She's going to keep working at it until it starts to the tip starts to scale. The scale starts to tip in her favor again. Excuse me. Yeah, she ain't playing. She's like, yeah, we going to figure it out somehow. I do see the Alchemist, the 4 of Wands. That's crazy. The Alchemist, not the 4 of Wands, the 4 of Cups here. Expectation, Coffee Addict. And then we have Fan coming out in reverse, which says romance, celebration, and party. So, like I said, it's one of those things where she's partying, she's hanging out, she's having her fun, because she feels like she's got to find ways to connect with people and get back around people that might possibly want to work with her. And that's going to be, she's like, I can't keep procrastinating and waiting. I've got to do something and I got to do it now. Definitely being really impulsive, seeing who she could talk to, hang out with, and work with. But they are saying that, with this, seek out other possibilities, look for the magic in life, beware of your own emotions. That really is one of those things where she needs to alchemize and figure out what she can create for herself. That's what this is all about. Her not being so reliant on other people and so codependent and feeling like another person, dependent on another person to do things for her and make her life be good. Like, girl, you're a whole magician out here. You have to learn how to alchemize energy, how to use your talents, right? Stop always seeking out other possibilities and looking for someone else to help you. Find that your own personal power, ignite that crown chakra, right? And really do things that make you happy. It says transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. So it's one of those things where they're like, yo, stop procrastinating. Don't be lazy. Don't look for someone else to come do it for you. Do it yourself. You have the talent. Why are you procrastinating? Why are you sleeping on your own self and your own talents and feeling like somebody else should make your career be as amazing as it can be? All right, so let's go ahead and continue. I next asked about, her current career struggles. We have Lion, time to act. she's still procrastinating and lying to herself and not being honest about the fact that nothing is holding her back but her. Yeah, it's the relationships that you've been in. Chris Hemsworth, all these people, you allow love and relationships and all of these things, romance and celebrating and partying. You allow all of that stuff to distract you from really focusing on standing in your own personal power and doing what makes you happy. And they're saying that in order for her to have victory, she has to be real with herself. She has to be honest with herself and stop lying to herself. All right. Yeah, she has to get back to the basics, and it's coming out sideways on the quill because she's hesitant. She's resistant towards doing what it is that she knows is going to be the right thing. And that means isolating. That means with this jump coming out of reverse, lighthearted, carefree time, that means not partying so much, not hanging out so much, not, being so succumbed by love and spending time with Max and doing all that. Is really going to take her buckling down, focusing, and doing what she needs to do. Luck is not going to get her here with this horseshoe coming out in reverse. They're saying luck is not on her side anymore. She's not that young girl who had her dad and who had all these other people to fix things and to change up the situation and help her, do damage control and repair her image. They're saying that now she has to actually protect her own money and protect herself. That no one is coming to rescue her and save her. There's danger, especially in money matters with this bear here, because she's at risk of losing her wealth if she's too concerned with sexual matters. Look at it. It's coming out. Wealth in reverse and rabbit. Too much concern with sexual matters. If she's continues to be too focused on love and allow that to distract her from her career and making better decisions when it comes to her money, her savings, her investments, all of these things that she's giving her time and her energy to and her money to. If she don't fix all that, then that's going to continue to be an issue when it comes to her career. She needs to isolate. She needs to focus on what she's creating and not be so distracted by being in this relationship with Max, period. All right, what about her current personal struggles? Mice, discord amongst friends or family coming out in reverse. Reconciliation on a pineapple. Yoke coming out in reverse. Feeling tied down or frustrated. December coming out in reverse. Shark, take care. There will be a loss of material wealth. Carriage, a journey either physical or mental. Throne in reverse, position of authority. And cobweb, protection from negative forces beyond your control. So as far as her personal struggles, it's one of those things where her past is still lingering. And I think that she's dealing with family issues. She's dealing with family issues, definitely things going on with her dad. I know that her mom and them, after they divorced, it was a whole lot, there was a lot of family drama and family issues. So she's definitely trying to figure out, what it is that she's going to do. I think she's in between a rock and a hard place with this yoke coming out in reverse, where she doesn't want to feel, tied down by all of this family drama, and she wants to be smart, but, this is her dad. So there is a part of her that's wondering if reconciliation is on the table, or if, things have just gone too far. Like if, she just continue being cold towards him and not deal with him. I think she ultimately wants to protect women, and she wants to protect her mother. I think of the spider web. I think of like feminine energy. She wants to do right by her mom and her sisters and the feminine energies and things like that. And she don't appreciate everything that her dad is doing. But at the same time, I think she still has certain unhealed daddy wounds and daddy issues that is causing her to want to reconcile with him and see if there's a way that they can get past this with this carriage, like if there's a way that they can get through this journey and figure it out. Or if she should just leave him in the past with this, throne coming out in reverse and never put him back in that position of, being a father and being somebody in her life that she truly respects and loves. I think with this shark, as far as her personal life, we do know that she hasn't been making sound financial decisions and her material wealth is suffering. But I think more so the family issues and everything that's going on in terms of her dad, her siblings, and what is going on in terms of her being distracted by love, all of that, and her past, things from her past that she still hasn't dealt with, things that she still buries deep down and hasn't acknowledged. All of those things are more important to her and more of a distraction to her and more of a problem to her than anything. All right, like it's like, it makes sense that the career is on the back burner and she's not focusing on it because she's got so much family issues going on that she has to deal with. I don't know if something recently, popped off in December or something really went bad in December, but I do see that for sure she's in the energy of very coldness and very bitterness towards certain family members, and that's causing a huge issue for her right now. And trying to get everybody back on the same page and figure it out because she doesn't want this discord and this unhappiness between them. And that's causing a big rift between the family. It's one of those things where, because we have the judge, the empress, everything is saying it. The veil in reverse, grill master, and then we have teardrops coming out in reverse. So I think she doesn't want to be in a situation of sadness or sorrow or heartache. I think she doesn't want to be crying over the situation. And ultimately, she respects her dad for everything that he brought to the table with this grill master, and how he, how she viewed him since a child hasn't changed. I think that with this veil coming out in reverse, she's sort of, like I said, in between two minds, because it's like it's hard for her to view him as this bad person, because that's her dad. She loves him. She cares about him. Nobody wants to view their dad in a bad light or feel like they're this horrible person. And so I think that she's still clinging to the version of her, the little girl that loved him and just wanted her daddy to be everything to her. And she's still clinging to that and having a hard time lifting that veil and putting herself in a situation where she's choosing her own happiness and not being so dependent on her dad to apologize to her or to make her happy or to tell her everything that she wants to hear. Like, she's not a little girl anymore. She's an adult. And they're saying that with this judge and the emperor, she has to start, like I said, being truthful with herself and understanding that she's in control of her own abundance now. It says time to act upon your plans. Creativity is rewarded, luxurious or abundant resources. So she's got to know that she's abundant within herself. And even though she's trying to be compassionate and be fair and, not be mean when it comes to her judgment of her father, they're saying that ultimately, who are you going to choose? Because you got your daddy, which is, the grill master. And then you have your mom, which is the empress. And she's stuck between a rock and a hard place, trying to please both of them and make them happy, when ultimately her ancestors is telling her to make her own self happy. That's the only person that matters at the very, very end of the day. Like, her mom and her dad, they made the choices that they made. Right now, we got it coming out as a pair again with king and woman. They made their choices. And even though it may not have been, what she would prefer, what she liked, and he might have did some things that he shouldn't have done. They're saying that it's not, with this flying monkey coming out in reverse, it's not her responsibility to change up anything. It's one of those things where with this 5 of Cups and chronic multitasker, they're saying that everybody knew what they signed up for. And even though it would have been nice for her family to stay together and for her parents to be together, everything happened for a reason. She's really just got to release the past and open herself up to a new beginning. She's got to see the silver lining in everything that has happened. Even if this might, cause her to look at her dad in a different light with this chronic multitasker. And now it's one of those things where all of that stuff that she was burying deep down has now come to the surface and she can't ignore it no more. They're saying that's good. That's for a reason. Because you need to stop denying the fact that that even though you love your dad and he's Miley Cyrus and he's all this stuff, he's not perfect. He's flawed. He's done some really harmful, damaging things, to you and to your mother. And it's not up to you to be the savior or to fix anything or put everybody back together. It's up to you to do what makes you happy. Find the silver lining that now you can honestly just move on. Not saying leave all her family in the past completely and never speak to them again, but choose her own happiness and what it is that she needs to do for herself. That's pretty much what her ancestors is letting her know. All right, so let's go ahead and continue on to love, because I know we want to know about love. What kind of love partner is she looking for? We have networker, mentor, bully, artist, child wounded, and slave. Yeah, it's not good, you guys. Child wounded and slave. She's really looking for somebody who is going to, like I said, she's needy. She's very codependent. She's looking for somebody who she can be dependent on, who's going to help her to heal her inner childhood wounds. It's pretty toxic. Like, she wants somebody who is going to pretty much always make her feel good. Always tell her she's so amazing. Always tell her she's so perfect. Like, pretty much do the healing work for her. That's what she's looking for, somebody who can do the healing work for her. Would it be, ultimately nice for that person to be her muse or to motivate her to make more art and to create and to do things with this artist coming out here? Yes. And she would love to be with someone who, they maybe have something, their relationship is more symbolic and not and based on something deeper, attached to the 5 senses, like where it's almost hypnotic, where when she's around this person, she can feel their energy, all of those good things. But ultimately, they're saying that she wants someone who, is just going to not force her to do the work. Allow her to be the same old child wounded person that she is, and not force her to grow up and be better. Like, someone who's, I guess, with this mentor, going to be the leader and make all the tough decisions. And it's like she just wants to be a kid. pretty much. She's looking for somebody to be her daddy. It's all of those inner childhood wounds that's replaying out here. Like, even so much with this bully, she's looking for the person to protect her and speak up for her. And like I said, she has a hard time talking up. So she's hoping that this person will come along and be like, hey, you can't do this to her. You can't do that to her. And always be the mouthpiece for her to protect her. And yeah, she's just looking for another daddy. Even when it comes to this networker, like somebody who has a lot of social energy and a social battery, who likes to network, who likes to party, who likes to do the same things that she does, so that way they can hang out together and party together and all of that good stuff. But I think that ultimately she's just looking for somebody who is going to enable her, who's going to be empathetic towards everything that she's been through, and is going to enable her to carry out all of those toxic, unstable, emotionally unstable behaviors. And that's going to let her just do as she pleases, and they're just going to be her daddy and protect her and say, it's okay, baby. I'm sorry they hurt you. I'm going to get them. That kind of thing. And that's pretty much what she wants. But, I think that's toxic, and I think that's something that would ultimately change if she was to do the healing work, and she was to work through those child wounds that she has, and figure out how to get her emotions in check and work on her throat chakra and being able to speak up for herself and really go after what it is that she wants and be independent. All the women's independent, throw your hands up at me. Then, a lot of stuff would change for her, and she will want someone who is more equally yoked and balanced, and not someone who's just gonna be her dad. All right, let's see. Next, I asked, how has love treated her in the past, right? Yes, how has love treated her in the past? We have the Two of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Magician, the Nine of Cups in reverse, the Queen of Cups, divine guidance, strength, and the King of Pentacles. So when it comes to, in terms of love in the past, she's been in a lot of situations that don't serve her. It literally says on the Five of Michael card, this situation doesn't serve you. Release your attachment to the outcome. Consider taking a more uplifting approach. So she be dealing with men that have her all up in her head with this Two of Swords, that be juggling her, making her not feel so good, making her feel like she's incapable. She talked about it with Chris Hemsworth, how he said that she would never get a Oscar or something, or she would never be on some magazine, something like that. This is what she dealt with. Men that have damaged her self-esteem, made her feel like she's not worthy, like she's not capable, like she can't do what makes her happy. I don't know if it's just because I'm just being so nosy in this reading, but my nose has been itching throughout this whole reading. Well, I don't know if there's somebody that's just all up in her energy and being all up in her business right now that she should be mindful of, but yeah, that's what it feels like. And it could be her dad, just wanting to know what she got going on and trying to see, or even ex-lovers, people from her past that's trying to see what she got going on because they see that she's evolving and they want to be a part of this new evolution. But it's like, no, you don't get to be a part of that. But anyways, it's one of those things where she's been in situations where she's always having to overanalyze, where she's always overthinking. The person never gives her the clarity that she needs. They treat her really horribly. They juggle her. They don't protect her. They tell her that she's not capable with this magician, like that she can't manifest the life that she wants, and that she can't just have what she deserves. They just have her all up in her head with this Nine of Cups in reverse. This card says, make a wish, dreams become reality, a joyful time in life. So she dealt with a lot of sadness, a lot of sad, unhappy, non-joyous relationships where she was dreaming and hoping that the person would be somebody that they never would be, right? But they was never going to be true to her. But she was trying to put that person in that role, like I said, being emotionally understanding, being kind, being giving, just always doing in terms of the relationship, like following her heart, feeling like she could, trust this person when ultimately the person never planned on protecting her. She was the one doing all the giving in the relationship, and she was never getting anything in return. We have divine guidance and strength. So she was being given messages from her ancestors. Like she has that intuition and would know that this person was, not protecting her and not valuing her. And her ancestors would let her know, like, yo, this person is not taking care of you. Search for the meaning in this relationship. Look for the silver lining. You need to protect yourself. You need to love yourself. You need to heal. You need to do this work. Like, they will keep putting people in her midst that's bad for her, to try to force her to show grace for herself and forgive herself and stop putting herself in situations that are no good for her because she feels like that's all she's capable of having. They're telling her, no, you're way more capable of having somebody better. Not just someone who got money. Not just somebody who's a celebrity. Not just somebody who's in the spotlight with this King of Pentacles here. Not just somebody who got resources, but somebody who actually wants to protect you. And ultimately, she was not following the divine guidance that she was being given to move forward and get out of these situations. It says, consider an alternative approach. Surround yourself with wise teachers and friends. So she didn't have, the proper guidance in her physical reality that was around her telling her to make good decisions. She wasn't surrounding herself with the proper friends and people to make good decisions. But her ancestors ultimately was letting her know, like, yo, if he's talking to you like this, then you gotta know, why would you even be in a situation with somebody who talks to you in that way, or who treats you that way, or who makes you feel less than, or who makes you feel unworthy? Choose you always with the Strength card here. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. I asked about what is, her relationship like now? What's her current relationship with Max Miranda like now? We have Meal Prep Mastermind, Meme Lord, the Human Charger, Ghosting Guru, the Cat Lady, Autocorrect Victim, Professional Binge Watcher, and Influencer Wannabe. I keep forgetting to show y'all the cards. My bad, y'all. But we almost to the end. Bear with me. Y'all can hear me. So as far as the Meal Prep Mastermind and the Cat Lady, it's one of those things where she feels like he's a healthy guy. This was a healthy choice. This is finally her getting a happy relationship. She wants to make love with him. She want to make babies with him. She want to get married. She wants to do the whole 9 yards, have a whole future, and settle down with him, and really move towards, spending the rest of her life with him. That's all that she wants, and to pretty much feel like everything that she's been through in the past was worth it here. I feel like with this Autocorrect Victim and Meme Lord, it's like, yeah, the relationship is very, as of now, it feels like lighthearted. They talk, they hang out, they spend a lot of time. She makes him laugh, he makes her laugh. Like, everything just feels really good as of now. But I think that she feels like with this Autocorrect Victim, she don't want everything that she went through in the past to be for nothing. And so him marrying her, him choosing her, him becoming that authority figure, that leader in her life, would be proof that, everything that she's been through in the past was not for nothing. And she finally got what she wanted, and she finally got her person. So that's why she wants to move towards that point. But what I am seeing with this Human Charger and Professional Binge Watcher, he's siphoning off of her energy. He's distracting her. He's keeping her focused on spending time with him, partying, hanging out, indulging, instead of doing what it is that she needs to do in terms of her career. She's spending way too much energy on him, and she's totally consumed by this relationship with him. And it's got her pretty much all googly-eyed and just distracted from what it is that she really needs to be doing. I am seeing Ghosting Guru and Influencer Wannabe. So ultimately, he is somebody who's looking for clout off of her. He's looking to grow. He's looking to see what more he could get off of her, which I don't, he's an influencer or a celebrity, whatever, in his own right. So I don't know why, but he's definitely trying to see if he can gain more from her and see if he could get like a more lasting impact off of her. And, being attached to Miley and her name, he can get so much things. He can, get whatever he wants from her. She'll spend money on him and do all this. But ultimately, I feel like he's emotionally unavailable, and he doesn't provide her the serious things that she needs, the conversations. He keeps it very lighthearted. He's not willing to have that conversation about, hey, like, when are we going to get married? Because, ultimately he planned on, with this Ghosting Guru, leaving her in the past and not moving forward to marriage with her. But I think that's what she wants, and that's where the confusion is coming in, because they're not on the same page. She feel like, yo, you're the person, and all we need to do now is get married and have babies, and that'll solidify everything for me. And he's kind of giving her the runaround, and he's not being vulnerable emotionally to tell her the truth that he doesn't really want that with her, and that ultimately he doesn't have anything to offer. He's unavailable emotionally, and the fact that in 3 of these cards he's on his phone, he obviously be sowing his royal oats. He obviously be texting, socializing, networking, getting to know other people outside of her. So she better be smart and keep that in mind. I hate that my nose keeps itching like this. It's like right at this spot right here, you guys, right there in that crease keeps itching. It's crazy. I next asked, will they ever get married? Because I figured that that's what she wanted. We have confusion and illusion. Oh God, no. Confusion and illusion. Actual money coming out in reverse. Animosity coming out in reverse. Love offer. Surprise. Relationship. Manipulation. And occupation. So what they're saying is that, listen, she has a lot of animosity because she wants him to make that offer, but what she don't know is that he's manipulating her. right? And that he's seeing how he can get opportunities off of her, he can get more work off of her, how he can grow and build and become who he want to be off of her, but off of this relationship. But this is all about manipulating her and keeping her under some sort of an illusion and seeing how he can drain her money, her actual money, and take off of her. But he actually has no, like, with this, it's like he has no intentions of actually, looking at the way this person's hands up is on his card. Like, he's very guilty in terms of the fact that he's playing games. He's a damn Pinocchio. He's a whole liar. He don't want to have no relationship with her. He's manipulating her. He's literally Geppetto to a puppet, and he's trying to see how he can get things off of her. And if he was to ever make her that love offer, it would only be to solidify getting more off of her, right? It feels like it would just be him doing his job. I don't know if this has anything to do with some dark stuff or like the powers that be. Because, you know, they have a tendency of doing that kind of stuff. I didn't see anything else come out about it in here. But I do see that with this thief. Oh, God. Leap of faith, thoughts, the human GPS, and handshake. Is saying a meeting with a stranger could be important. It's given like he's some sort of handler or something, or he's trying to make some sort of agreement, or this is just a transaction. This is transactional. This whole thing is transactional, and it's about him moving forward and growing with this human GPS and doing what it is that he's told, but not necessarily about, loving her. It's really just about what he could siphon off of her and what he could steal from her with this thief. And with this leap of faith, is saying, hey, like, it's one of those things where she's thinking, like, to say yes because she wants to do what makes her heart happy and do what makes her flutter, and he's always on her mind. So of course she's gonna immediately say yes. But for him, this would be something very much transactional, and I do see that it's in the cards, y'all. It's a possibility that he will make her that love offer and propose to her just for the sake of securing his finances, and possibly with this handshake fulfilling some sort of requirement. Like, this feels like he's in handler, or he's being told to do this, keep an eye on her, or watch her, or something like that. Or either way, there was somebody who was like, yo, this would be the best business deal that you could make, to marry Miley Cyrus. And then look, like, you could take from her, you could steal from her, you could possibly get her to do whatever, because she's so willing to do all these things for you now, and she's so in love with you now. Imagine if you was to, marry her and take that leap of faith and actually do that, then you're going to be really solidified and really secured and be able to take whatever you want. Like, that would be the wealth that can never be stolen, right? Like, that would be him securing his wealth, like it says on this card. Sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. So, that's unfortunate, y'all. And I'm hoping that Miley, wakes up and sees things for what they are, because ultimately, like, she's distracted because she's so focused on what's going on with her family. Because I see it coming out again here. Plant parent, mother, Queen of Michael, conflict, and shield. It's like she's still trying to protect what's going on with her family and focusing on that she's not even paying attention to this dude's red flags and realizing that he's somebody that she needs to stay away from. Because ultimately her mother and father and her family and all of these things are not okay at home. And she's trying to be the fair one. She's trying to be the one that's balanced and thinks about everybody's feelings in the situation based on what these cards are saying here. And they telling her that ultimately, like, bro, you need to protect yourself and you need to focus on what you're not seeing about the fact that you're in a relationship where that you need to get out of and defend yourself from, because ultimately this person is not here to care for you and protect you. And you're possibly thinking about, you keep being nurturing towards this person and taking care of them. It's like you basically being his mother. And it's at a point where you need to learn how to be self-reliant. It says you know exactly what to do. The benefit of experience, a time for your career rather than relationships. So they telling her to, not be focusing on the conflict of her home life and what's going on with her family, and not to be distracted by no relationship, and that she knows better and she needs to be making smart decisions. So there's that, you guys. Let's do lastly her 4 future predictions to close out the reading. All right, let's see. We have Rooster coming out in reverse. An arrogant or boastful person you should not cross. So this is one of those things where they're saying that over the next 6 months to a year, she's going to be in a situation where she's going to have to stand up for herself. She has to stop being quiet. Like, she has to stop. She has to open up and say, yo, I don't feel protected. She doesn't even realize that there's a snake in her midst, and she needs to be smarter and pay attention, because it's going to be more on the forefront. I don't know if it's going to be paparazzi snapping a pic, or just someone letting her know, somebody that she's around, a fake friend of hers or whatever, but she's going to be receiving some information about the fact that this, the dude that she's with is somebody who's very arrogant and boastful and somebody that she should not trust or keep around. All right, she's going to be getting proof within the next 6 months to a year. We also have leg coming out in reverse. So yeah, they're saying that stepping into new experiences, but it's coming out in reverse. So it's one of those things where, we may see her and, we may see her terminate this relationship. We may see her publicly say, that she's ended this relationship, take his picture down off of social media. Like, that's what I'm seeing. Somebody deleting pictures off of, like, their Instagram or something. So she might just get rid of those pics and pretty much stop talking about him. She may not even come out and say something. Like, she may not even speak about it. She may just move in silence and just, terminate the relationship and delete all his pictures off of her social media and just move on with her life. Okay. I also have Stork. News of a birth or business opportunity. So she's better be careful to strap it up when dealing with him because babies are in her energy. But she's definitely got a new business opportunity or a new business venture that she will be coming out with or creating within the next 6 months to a year. Some sort of collaboration or partnership. So that is really, really dope. And then lastly, we have Egg coming out in reverse. I told y'all. It says success assured with good plans and hard work coming out in reverse. So thankfully, they're saying it's not going to be a baby. Hopefully, it's not going to be her planting no new seeds and having a baby. But there definitely is going to be a glow about her. And we're going to see her in some sort of new opportunity. But they are saying that it's going to be something where, she's going to have to, her success will be assured if she works hard at this. So let's lastly just see what this is about. Like, what is this in terms of? What is this new opportunity in terms of? This new collaboration. This is new collaboration in terms of for Miley Cyrus that she's going to be working on over the next 6 months to a year. Seeker coming out. She could be writing a book. Something about, information. We have Hermit here. So, okay, about personal creativity. So, she could be writing something on her own. Writing a book, writing a play, writing a show, like doing something. Okay. And then we also have Father coming out here in terms of this new business opportunity. She might work on something with her dad. Oh, God, you guys. That's crazy. Companion. And give me one more on this new opportunity. Gambler. So, yeah, it's definitely something where she's going to be taking a risk and taking a bet on herself. It could also be something involving healing as well. With, healing being on the bottom of the deck and then father and companion. So we talked about, the daddy issues and the love wounds and all of those things. She may be channeling that into a book or into a creative endeavor or something. And I feel like it's going to be a high risk, high reward. Confirmation that her following her intuition is what's going to make this turn out to be really, really beautiful. So look forward to some sort of book or, a screenplay or a movie, like something that Miley Cyrus is going to be creating. She may also be traveling as well, too. But definitely a lot about her bringing information to the light and a lot about healing. So this is interesting. Like, I don't know if she would be interested in making some sort of healing guide or some sort of healing book or, something for women out there who have daddy issues or, childhood wounds from their father or from love but it just feels like, or this could be also something involving marriage or divorce, like with the whole thing about loyalty is coming up too in her family. So she could be doing something involving her family again. But I don't know why I just keep hearing tell all. Like, I don't know if she's planning on writing like a book, writing some sort of tell-all book where she talks about her family. Like, she talks about all of those things that she's been through. But I definitely do see a new business venture and the birth of a new opportunity for Miley Cyrus over the next 6 months to a year that we can look forward to. So that's what I have as far as her reading. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Thank you for sticking with me through to the end of the reading. I love you guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out the community because like I said, in the community you can let me know what videos you would, you can talk about videos I posted, what you want to see from me. If you would like to book a reading, all of the information is in the description box. And if you would like to subscribe to the membership, I have 2 ranks to the membership, one for $7.99 and one for $14.99. $7.99, those ones you can look and it'll tell you what you get, but I know for sure for the $15 one you get 2 exclusive videos posted just for members only for you guys to watch every month. So if you would, you know, like me to do certain videos that's personal to you in your life, or something that, you know, we can't really discuss, like something more you know, dark spiritually or something like that, then we can also do that on the members only video. So definitely sign up for that membership so that way you can have that privilege. All right, so I love you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let me know how you feel about this style of video, and I'm gonna see y'all on the next one.